it out. I ran into a cop who had a tantrum, man. So, look, I'm gonna break it down. And anything that he gave me a citation for, with the exception of one thing, hands down, 100%, he's on the right. Technically, by law, I should have it correct. But I'm definitely going to dispute the reason why he gave me a ticket, which is the reason why he pulled me over. So this petty cop, I'm coming down on a street, and, you know, immediately he sees me. I look at him, and I just look back on the road. I don't know. I guess sometimes cops, when it comes to body language, they just automatically assume they have to play Inspector Gadget with that shit. You know what I mean? Fuck it. I don't have a magnifying glass, but you get my point. So what happened was, I'm coming down the road, and I get to a red light. This dude zooms like 60 miles per hour just so that way he doesn't lose trail of me. And I'm looking at my rear mirror. I'm like, this son of a bitch is looking to pull me over. He's gonna find some bullshit excuse. I know it. So guess what happens? I'm driving down. We're going into the green light, and I go from the middle to the right lane, and then I go from the right lane to the right turn lane. And as I'm doing this cop is doing the same. He's basically trailing me. All right, and I know right off the bat. And as I'm driving to, mind you, on the left lane, there's actually a Camaro going like 55, 60 miles per hour, driving like 10 miles per hour faster than me and like ahead of everybody else. Cop doesn't want to seem to pay attention to that. He's just all zoomed on me. I'm like, okay, all right. So, like I said, as I'm going to go to the right turn lane, you know, taking my time, progressing through the two lanes, I get there. As soon as I do, I stop. I look at left and right, and I see cars. I guess they're making the left turn lane or whatever. I did come to a complete stop, and I make a right turn. But as I did that, I see him doing the same thing too, but he doesn't even stop. That was the funniest part, is that he didn't bother to stop. He decided to break the law on his own as well. So, to me, I felt like it was the ultimate instigation that he was trying to run here. And as we pull over, you know what I mean? Because he got his blue and red lights on. He wants to go in and throw a party. Woohoo! Right? Shoot. Then he gets out the car and he goes like, hey, can I see your, you know, the three major things he always names: registration, insurance, my driver's license. I'm like, okay. As I'm pulling out my driver's license, I'm like, hey, officer, you know, can I know why you pulled me over? And he's like, oh, I'll tell you as soon as I get all the information. Okay, that's your prerogative. Cool. You know, but usually cool cops, if they're really cool about it, they'll be like, that's the first thing they'll tell you. They'll usually tell you, hey, this is what it is, whatever. But I could tell he didn't want to tell me because there was something itching him. You know what I mean? He just wanted to kind of like find something to bust me on. Unfortunately for him, I got a pretty clean record. But either way, this buster starts asking me, you know, 21 questions, like as if I'm playing in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire kind of quiz here, you know. And he's like asking me, oh, you know, do you have any felonies? Do you have the whatever? Or like, are you under parole? Like, dog, are you really fucking asking me all these questions? I wonder if I had blue eyes with pale snow white skin, would you ask me these 20 questions? No, I don't think so. So obviously right off the bat, I feel like he's racially profiling me because he's asking me all these bunch of questions. You know what I mean? And then he goes like, hey, you know, I saw, and then after like he's asking me all this, he gets to the point where like he's asking me, where do I live? And do I have a job? Am I doing something? He's asking me all this. I'm like, dude, really? Okay. And then I told him, you know, I don't want to disclose that information to you. Then he goes and, oh, you know, you want to make this difficult, man. All right, then we can do that. I'm like, whatever, you know. And oh man, I'm forgetting one more point that he did. Yeah, he said, so after that, you know, he was telling me the reason why he pulled me over, which was because initially he was tailing me because he saw my registration tag expired and he was gonna forgive me for that. But then as I got to the right lane, he said that I didn't come to an all four-wheel complete stop before I made a right turn, and he considered that running a red light. Okay, so I ran a red light in his eyes and in his opinion, but I could tell there was an ulterior motive to why he wanted to do that, given the fact, like I said, 2 lanes across of me, there's a car going like darn near 60 miles per hour. I'm like, you had your eyes set on me since the first moment you saw me, bro. No bromance. But yeah, then he goes and writes me a citation, and he ends up citating me for a expired registration, which, okay, cool. And of course, you know, no insurance, which I didn't realize it expired. So here's the thing, I'm not tripping about the expired registration or the insurance. That's on me, 100%. I got to make sure I get that taken care of and cleaned up. And when I go to court, which I believe I got about a couple months to take care of, you know, thank God Biden came through at the right time in office. Definitely gonna help me out with that issue, but obviously this cop doesn't want to do that. Let's see. Oh, I get to show up there on April. Plenty of time for me to save up and get myself insurance, you know, insurance coverage for a year if I really save up my money, right? And my registration should be good by the time I gotta show up to court. But as far as the red light, it's just that was just an excuse for him to make up to pull me over. You know what I mean? I'm not here to justify like, oh, why is he picking me if someone else is doing a crime? Or that's not what it's about. All right. I could tell right off the bat this dude was straight up on pursuing me, and he was hoping to catch him something big or whatever. Because like I said, he was asking me like 30 different questions. I don't think it's normal for a cop to ask you, you know, okay, a couple of things, I get it, like, you know, everything should be, you know, there's a couple of security questions they'll usually ask you, but to go to the point where he's asking me what do I do for a job, for a living, or where do you live, you know, I mean, God, I thought the next question he was gonna ask was how much I pay for rent. Or do I rent a house, or do I, he's probably gonna ask me all these bunch of questions. No, it got to that point, like, it was just getting too silly, man. And I just wasn't feeling it. And at the same time, I just simply politely asked that, hey, I don't want to disclose that. And he got all chirpy and having, you know, throwing a fit. I'm like, okay, now I know you definitely trying to put something on me. But yeah, that sucks, dog. That really sucks. And I hate to use that term, racial profiling, but it does exist, man. People just love to, you know, bust somebody because of how they may dress, how they look. It is what it is, man, you know. But yeah, cops are, you gotta understand, like, it's not about cops that are bad, it's the people who are too irresponsible to be able to hold that power. They want to just bust anybody they feel like they don't like because they see you and they're like, oh, I don't like that person, I'm gonna trail him and see if I could bust him on something. That's exactly what this cop did for me, with me. So yeah, I'm gonna look forward to showing up to court. Gonna look all nice and spiffy, and I'm gonna look him dead straight in the eye and tell him that you were racially profiling me. And yeah, I'm not cool with that, and here's my reason, Your Honor, why I feel that he used this to continue his expenditure on pretty much trying to arrest me, because it got to the point where he said he will hold me in custody. That's what he tried to threaten me, that he was going to put me in custody because I didn't want to answer a question or two, because people want to know, act like they don't know the law or whatever. But yet he was asking me questions like, okay, I need to have an address, because how am I gonna have whatever. He's like, all this, like, how am I supposed to mail you, make sure you go to court if I don't have an address to mail you, whatever. I'm like, first, when you write the citation, the address to the court's gonna be there, so I know where to go. And two, if you need to mail me something, it's on my driver's license. So it's like, okay, dog, like, why are you having an issue with that? So I think his issue was because he thought I got like 2 different states, but like, the thing is, I just bought the car, or like I bought the car from another state. So, you know what I mean? But either way, like, it's gonna be fun. I can't wait for court date. Deuces, y'all.